Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today, and I'm joined now across the sea, across the world, with Dave Koco from Koco Sports. Dave, how's it going today?
Not much, not much. 3:30 in the morning. No place I'd rather be than right here with you, my friends.
That's a really sad thing to say. That makes me feel terrible. But Dave stayed up for me till the wee hours of the morning in Japan because we're going to talk about and preview New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 13, the big Tokyo Dome show as it is every January 4th. And there's a lot to talk about. So I think number one thing I want to talk about and want to mention is that Dave, as he said, is in Japan, and so he's been to a lot of these shows live. You've been to a few Wrestle Kingdoms as well, right?
I've been to over 10 1-4 shows. I think I've only missed 3 Wrestle Kingdoms. So I've been there a lot. And even before the Wrestle Kingdoms, 1-4 shows were, big. They had All Japan and also Noah. So a lot of different companies ran the 1-4 show. So the 1-4 show is a big tradition that goes beyond Wrestle Kingdom. I think there's a book called, oh man, I wish I remembered, Eggshells or something like that, that goes through the history of it. I apologize to the author and the book, but yeah, it's got a long history, and I've been going to 1-4 before it was even called Wrestle Kingdom. So
Wow.
it's my favorite event of the year, and it's my favorite building ever.
Yeah, like this pretty much is the WrestleMania of the year for Japan. And being a gaijin over there, what's it like being a gaijin basically in Japan for these shows? Because I've heard like it's really changed how the Japanese people have perceived the American fans, and it's become more of a destination event for Americans more than it has been probably in the past 5 years.
Well, yeah, slowly but surely, I noticed a lot more foreigners around Wrestle Kingdom 8, and every year there's like more foreigners. And now, with them trying to get out, out to the Western audience, it just seems to be more and more. And it's amazing because, like, I used to talk about New Japan and Japanese pro wrestling on radio, on television, on YouTube. And people would make fun of me. Like, why would you cover that? Why would you cover that? And there's like YouTubers and, I guess online personalities that would be like, oh, covering New Japan is a waste of time. And now they're just like, oh man, New Japan, I always loved it. I'm like, not cool. Not cool, guy. Not cool. But yeah, it's getting more and more popular. Bullet Club, Jericho, Loss. These are all things that have to do with it. The Access TV deal. And yeah, so it's an exciting time. And not only that, but as an older fan, when you like something that has a small fandom and it grows, it feels good most of the time. Most of the
Yeah,
time. We had a
most of the time.
conversation earlier.
All right, well, we got a lot of matches to run down here. It's as of now, 10 matches are booked, including a pre-show match. So let's just jump right in. We'll talk about the storylines, explain what's going on the best we can, and let's maybe make some predictions about who's going to win, who's going to lose, and who's going to be not in the company by February. That could be a lot of
Yeah,
people.
well, that's the big thing with storylines, because there's been contract disputes, because so much stuff has happened, and a lot of the storylines have been kind of put on hold, and they've just been stalling for this event. And there are internet rumors to strong internet news stories that I think are kind of making this Wrestle Kingdom seem a little bit less special in my eyes. It's kind of like, oh well, where's the Elite going? What is this guy doing? So it's an interesting Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There is a feeling of kind of uneasiness about this one, as opposed to previous years where it's been like, oh my god, we got these two guys finally clashing. Now it's kind of like something's a little off. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that as we get towards the main events. But it looks like starting up things we have on our pre-show, we got the MVP, Most Violent Players, Makabe and Yano with Taguchi. They're going to be taking on Nagata, Jeff Cobb, Dave Finley. They're going to be taking on 3 members of Chaos. They're going to be taking on 3 members of Suzuki-gun and a few members of the Elite, which is Hangman Page, Takahashi, and Marty Scurll. And that's going to be a gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contenders to the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship match. This is going to be a schmoz. It's going to be a mess, but it's going to be a beautiful mess.
Yeah, but I miss the Japan Rumble. Like,
Me
they're
too,
replacing
yeah.
it with the Japan Rumble, because here's the thing: you'd go to the Tokyo Dome, and the Japan Rumble would come out, and you have fans there. You got these old Japanese men that've seen every single wrestling event ever, and you have these young kids discovering pro wrestling, and the surprise entrance. Like, there would be like this old man come down, and like everyone starts singing and going crazy. And you just go to this guy like, what's going on? They're like, oh, he wrestled here in 1962. It's a surprise appearance. And you're like, that's amazing. And you had Haku one year. I just missed this big surprise. And every time I'm in the Tokyo Dome, I always cross my fingers and I rock back and forth, like, please be the Great Muta, please be the Great Muta, please be the Great Muta. And most of the time, it's not the Great Muta. But still, you had Cheeseburger, you had people fly in. Cheeseburger was getting over. It got a lot of people an opportunity. It also got a lot of people to get on the card that wouldn't be on the card. Like, I remember going to Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny Omega being there for the pre-show and going, this kid has got a lot of potential. I loved him in DDT. And now he's main eventing Wrestle Kingdoms. I know that they got a new president. I know they're trying to change stuff up. And I think maybe it will go smoother. Maybe it won't be as big of a cluster. But I missed that cluster. I love, like, not knowing who was going to appear. And not only that, but the roster's so big and there's so much Japanese pro wrestling and there's so many legends that you can fit on the card. The Tokyo Dome's something special, and I thought it could squeeze people in. So I'm going to miss the Japan Rumble. With that said...
We're being robbed of Jushin Liger appearing. That's my biggest thing here.
Exactly. Tiger Mask. Yeah, and it's just... Yeah, it's a sad situation. So, yeah. Bring back the Japan Rumble. But to me, I think this is going to be... It's going to be a little bit interesting, but I don't know. I have no idea who's actually going to win. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Jeff Cobb. He's like, I guess, he's pretty high up there on the independents in America, but in my eyes, he's like a really hot blue chipper. So I want to see what he does. So I'll be rooting for Chaos because I'm Team Chaos forever. But I think this is going to be a good pre-show, warm up the crowd type thing. But it's no Japan Rumble. I think they really missed the step on that one.
I'm going to go for the Elite just because I feel like, with all the uneasiness about what's going to happen with the main events later on, I feel like this is going to be the prime time for Heyman Page to do something maybe Marty Scurll as well, just kind of get themselves in a bigger spot if they're going to be sticking around. So I'm going to throw my hand onto the Elite for this one.
All right.
We'll see how it pans out.
Team Chaos for life.
Of course. All right, so moving on, we have then the Never Openweight Championship. We're going to have Kota Ibushi defending against Will Ospreay. This is going to be an amazing, crazy match.
Yeah, I don't care how you rate. If you rate matches by 5 stars, this is going to be 20 stars. If you rate matches by thumbs up, you better have a couple of roommates to show how many thumbs up. I was not that excited. I always get the tickets to Wrestle Kingdom very early, and I wasn't excited into Wrestle Kingdom. It never felt like Wrestle Kingdom to me. And they did this match. I was like, this is a Wrestle Kingdom match. This is worthy of the Tokyo Dome. This is going to be amazing. Like, in my eyes, worst case scenario, if it's the worst match both men ever had, it will probably still be the best match of the night.
Oh, absolutely.
These two guys are amazing. And not only that, but right now on YouTube, they have the main event of, I apologize for the event, I think Road to the Tokyo Dome. It's just free on YouTube, and there's a spot there that it was just amazing. And Meltzer, I don't know, a lot of people have different opinions of Meltzer, but he gave it such a high rating. And it's a very exciting match. You can watch it for free. It might get you pumped up. If you're interested, it might be the thing that puts you over the top to see it. But there's a spot with Ospreay and Ibushi that Hollywood couldn't direct better. Like, the camera angles were perfect. Everything was absolutely amazing. I'm super excited for this match. I don't know who's going to win, and I love both guys. I'm going to predict Ibushi because I think if Ibushi – I don't know. I love both guys. This is just going to be amazing. I think this is the match of the century.
It's a real pick 'em kind of match.
Of the century.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it doesn't really matter who wins, honestly. It's just, they're going to both kill each other. It's going to look amazing. It's going to be a beautiful match. It doesn't matter who wins or loses, really. Just to be opposite, I'm going to pick Will, just because I'm a jerk. I'm going to go against your pick, and we'll see what happens.
So here's the thing. This is the hardest one to pick. It's just going to be amazing. That's the only thing that I can guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to win, but it's going to be absolutely amazing.
And it's kind of funny to me that's for the Never title as well, because I wonder how that's going to actually play into the story of the match. Because the Never title has been, for me, I always consider it to be like, the hard-hitting smash 'em kind of belt. Whereas this time around, you have two technicians going for it. It's very contrarian to what I feel like the title is supposed to be. Do you think it's going to make a difference for how the match is going to be held?
I don't think so. I think what the goal of the open weight, it became a very strong style belt. But I think the original goal, or at least when I talk to people about it, the goal is they try to keep the weight divisions separate. So this belt was supposed to be like, no, it doesn't matter what size you are. Basically, it's the TNA X Division title,
Yeah.
except for that. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I like this match and I like this title. So I
Yeah.
hope that it does great. But the rules of the title are not exactly clear.
Well, we're not even going to talk about that because
yeah. But it's going to be an amazing match.
yeah. So after that, then we're going to have a three-way dance for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. We've got Suzuki-gun, Roppongi 3K, and Los Ingobernables. That, again, should be a very exciting, very fast-paced match, I feel like. And again, I feel like it's a tough one to pick who's going to be taking on the belts in that one as well.
I think this event, I go to a lot of New Japan events, and this group, Loss, is so over. It's like NWO back in the day. You can go anywhere in Japan and you'll see people wearing the gear. And a lot of times wrestling fans only wear wrestling gear to the events, But here you could just see them dressed in it right away. And on top of that, I went to an event here in Kawasaki. It was the World Tag League. I was the only Chaos fan, and there might have been like one Tanahashi fan. That whole building was sold out with Lost fans.
Wow.
And on top of that, they have a booking problem because Lost is crazy popular. They're selling tons of merchandise. Everyone loves them. But I'm sitting there screaming. I love Okada more than a straight man should. I'm screaming like he's Santa Claus. I'm like, Okada! Just being every horrible stereotype of a gaijin you could possibly be. And I'm screaming. And then, Lost comes out, and they're just like, oh, whatever. And it was Okada's team versus Naito's team. And I remember cheering, and they're just like, oh. And I'm like, well, you guys going to cheer? And they're like, nah, what's the point? Our guy's not going to win. And when you're that over, but your fans know you're not going to win, that's like the NWO being Dolph Ziggler. You got to fix that. So my guess, pick of the week, of the century, lock of the week, whatever you want to say, I think Loss has to win everything.
All right.
They have to. I mean, let me tell you, when 98% of your audience roots for one team, but they know they're not going to win, you don't want the Chicago Cubs Wrigley Field atmosphere in every stadium, okay? So I'm hoping that it changes because those fans are so strong behind these guys, and the booking does not reward them for that. It does not reward them for that at all. So I'm going Loss.
I'm going to agree with that pick as well, and I'll probably explain a little more about that when we get to the Intercontinental match, but I agree with that pick. I think they need it. I think they're going to get it, and that should actually be a better match than a lot of us are expecting. Moving ahead, then, we have this is kind of one of the oddities about New Japan is that they'll have other titles defended on their shows now, and so we have here Tomohiro Ishii, Zack Sabre Jr. for the Rev Pro Heavyweight title. That is going to be a fun one too, though. I think that's going to be that's going to be the hard-hitting, smash 'em, break 'em kind of match.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a surprise match. Way to go for the UK company. And I'm surprised Ring of Honor's not here. I'm surprised more titles ain't here. But I'm glad they got an outside company one. It makes it feel special. It makes it feel like a world event. Yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing match. And I'm really excited for it. And as a fan, I love going to events and seeing people come to Godzilla's Island that bring a different style. You see the UK guys, you see the CMLL guys, sometimes you see TNA, sometimes you see WWE. Usually it's just a house show, but still I like seeing all different types of wrestling because they have so much wrestling here. And to me, I'm really excited for this. I'm going to root for Ishii, but I'm thinking they might want to bring the title back home.
Good point. I mean, I'm kind of wondering how can ZSJ actually beat him is my question. What's it going to take to actually take out Ishii? Because his head is made of concrete. I mean, what do you do to the man?
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. So, and he's just so tough. And a lot of times they'll have merchandise, and you're just like, okay, whatever, dude. Sure, you're a wolf. Sure, whatever. Dude, his merchandise is a bulldog, and he looks like the meanest, baddest bulldog ever. He just comes out and just that human being is a bulldog. So yeah.
I do agree with you. It's a pretty high chance that Zack is going to take home the belt, bring it back home. But again, I kind of question how does a guy like that take it out of him? So I don't know. I'm going to be opposite. I'm just going to pick Ishii just because I like to be a jerk. and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so moving on, we have another three-way tag match for another tag belt. This time for the IWGP, the main tag team titles. We got ourselves Guerrillas of Destiny, Los Ingobernables, and the Young Bucks. And this is where things start to get interesting because the Young Bucks, we don't know what's going to happen to them come, I guess, a few weeks from now, really. Come the end of January, we don't know what's going to happen with them. So most likely it seems like they're not even going to be a factor in this match.
Well, and the thing is, this felt... I don't like the booking of this because it felt very Raw SmackDown. And what I mean by that is on a lot of WWE pay-per-views, they'll do something on Raw, and SmackDown's like, we'll do the exact same thing. Yeah. And it felt that way in the tag team. It was like, hey, you two earned it, but here's a random third team. You two earned it, there's a random third team. And it's like, all right, you know you guys don't have a brand split. You know you don't have to do the same exact things. And on top of that, you know, the World Tag League was really not as good as it should be. I don't want to say it sucked because it was good, but like it could have been a million times better. But the World Tag League, it felt very weak this year, just hype-wise and storyline-wise. And then they followed it up with, oh, by the way, that World Tag League meant nothing because here's the Young Bucks. We're here, and then all that, but like they pulled the like. I'm not a big fan of copying WWE to the point of you're like, is that even a rule in New Japan? The Young Bucks are like, we never got a rematch. I'm like, I think it's on the wrong television program. I think you're in the wrong universe. You know, this is the MCU. You're looking for the DC universe. All right, you're in the wrong place, Young Bucks. So yeah, I think Lost wins this just because. Those fans need a reward for their loyalty, their diehard loyalty.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that too. I think I get the feeling by the end of the night, Los Ingobernables, they're going to be the it team. They're going to be the stable of the company.
They have to be. They have to be moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, because here's the thing, you know, and I hate to pick on Dolph Ziggler, but for those that don't know, Dolph Ziggler fans don't watch Dolph Ziggler matches. And the reason why Dolph Ziggler fans don't watch Dolph Ziggler matches are because, oh, who's Dolph Ziggler wrestling this Monday? Doesn't matter. He's going to lose.
Yeah.
Who's Dolph Ziggler wrestling on a pay-per-view? Doesn't matter. He's going to lose. You're starting to get that feeling in the air. It's like, yeah, I'm a Lost fan, but I don't need to watch. They're going to lose. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So they need to turn that around. So Lost all the way.
All right, so moving on then, we've got Cody Rhodes defending his U.S. Championship against Juice Robinson. And I think this is going to be another match again where if it wasn't for contract stuff, it probably would have been a little bit more interesting. I feel like this is Juice's match to get the belt. Should still be a good match. I just think it won't be as good as it could be.
Yeah, Juice Robinson is really... First off, I want to give him props. He left NXT contract to go become a young lion. That just takes courage.
Yeah.
That takes courage beyond belief. To have guaranteed money to go take a chance. It's like, I don't know, playing for the Yankees, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to go to the University of Delaware to try this football thing out. It just takes courage, you know, and it's panned out for him. I don't know how fans outside of Japan feel about him, but feels like he's one of ours. Like when it comes to Juice Robinson and Cody Rhodes, it feels like Juice Robinson's the home team. So it's got that feel to it, and I think Juice is going to win. And I wonder if this match is going to be good. Because they can both wrestle the WWE style, they can both wrestle the real pro wrestling style, and they're going to be in there together. And it's like, what is the final thing going to be? Are they going to their WWE roots? Are they going to show what they did at Pro Wrest? Are they going to go all out? I think this is like the biggest question mark to decide what style and what type of match it's going to be.
Yeah, I feel like whenever the U.S. Championship is on the line in New Japan, it tends to look more like a WWE match than a New Japan match.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're doing that on purpose. I don't know, but I'm hoping that these guys go all out.
Yeah,
I really am. I mean, it's Wrestle Kingdom. It's big. And right now, they have so many titles, and they have to make sure the titles mean something. Like New Japan and Japanese Pro Wrestling has always had a lot of titles, but the titles always felt special. They're borderline not feeling special now. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they go all out to make the titles feel special like they did back in the day.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that there's like a never six-man tag belt. Like, to me, that's just overkill. So, yeah, I can
Oh
totally agree with you
yeah.
on that.
Well, here's the thing. I am the first one to admit when I'm wrong. Raw I thought Raw going to 3 hours, if they handled it right, would have been a good idea. I was wrong. I thought the
We all were wrong that day.
I thought the XFL was awesome. I still do, but I was wrong about that. I thought the never six man. It's hard. I can't even. Those titles. Those titles. I thought this was a good idea. For the simple fact is that a lot of New Japan events feel like Wrestle Kingdom's different, but a lot of New Japan events feel like before there's an intermission, and the last match before intermission seems like when the show really starts. I thought the six-man tag titles were going to take that away. I was wrong. I was wrong. They do not feel important at all. Matter of fact, I've read it, all the six-man tag champs have different titles, so they're got title matches. But in reality, these titles are not on the line, you know? So hopefully they make the titles seem more important.
I mean, it's really like the hardcore title of New Japan, really, in a lot of ways. But
yeah, and they passed it around tremendous. It was out of control.
But yeah, that's how important the U.S. Championship match is, because we're still talking about the never six-man tag belts. So I think that means we should move on. And let's talk about the junior heavyweight championship, rather, with Kushida defending his belt against Ishimori. Now, this is an interesting match. There's a lot going on here. This is going to be basically, will this be the passing of the torch to Ishimori, or is Kushida going to continue being the top guy there?
It's going to be Ishimori. I think this is almost a lock for multiple reasons. This is what I'm usually not anti-internet, but this year it's like the internet went out of their way to ruin Wrestle Kingdom. Like the internet was like, everything you love, it's over. Like, damn, internet. So I'm usually not anti-internet, but it does seem like this is the year the internet really went after Wrestle Kingdom. There's a lot of internet rumors that Kushida's headed to WWE. Ishimori is just an amazing athlete, and I can't wait for the New Japan fans to find out about him, because a lot of fans that do watch New Japan only watch New Japan. Yeah. So I can't wait for people to find out, and then the international audience that don't watch that much pro wrestling, I can't wait for them to find out about him. And usually I'm very anti New Japan guys going to WWE. Even if it's Finn Balor, even if it's the Balor Club, even if it's Nakamura, I'm very anti-New Japan guys going because, well, look what they do. You know what I mean? The track record speaks for itself. But with that said, I wish Kushida did nothing but the best on his journey, because I don't think he can do anything more.
He's done already everything there.
What can he possibly do? He has my blessing. Like, Nakamura, I was, crying. I was like, how could you do this to us? Finn Balor, Prince Devitt. I was like, how? No. Carl Anderson. I was just like, bro, for real? Really? Come on, dude. You're going to have a box show in a couple years, man. But, yeah, so I think Kushida, it's time. It's like, that makes sense.
I think my far-fetched prediction is that Kushida will just move up and wait. And maybe that's the next step for him.
That's a big stretch. That's a big stretch.
I'm willing to go. I'm thinking he loses, drops the belt, disappears for a while, comes back by the summer and says, "Hey, I'm going up and wait. I want the Intercontinental belt, or I want the U.S. belt." Because I feel like they can't lose him either. Like, if New Japan loses him, that's a big, big loss that they're not going to be able to replace or fill anytime soon. I think the only thing he can do now is go up and wait.
Well, lately, New Japan and my favorite baseball team have something in common. I love the Tampa Bay Rays, but it's hard to be a Rays fan because all your favorite players are going to be Yankees in less than 2 years. I'm starting to get that feeling about New Japan. It's like, I love these guys. They're going somewhere else. Maybe they start their own company. Maybe they go to WWE. The last couple of years, it feels like I'm rooting for the Rays. They're a little more successful than the Rays.
Yeah.
But it just breaks my heart because, AJ Styles and Nakamura at WrestleMania was not what it was at Wrestle Kingdom.
No, absolutely not.
And it just breaks my heart. It's just like, come on, guys. It's like, I understand money's important, but is it that important? But I think Kushida would do good moving on. I just don't see anything more he can do.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you for your service, sir. Like, I don't no hard feelings, But I think Ishimori, I think this is a breakout match for him on a big stage, and those that know what he can do. That kind of seems like a silly statement, but it is a bigger stage than Dragon Gate, even though I love Dragon Gate.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the match that's going to probably make you cry, because we got Chaos versus Chaos. We've got Okada versus Jay White. Interesting match. What is the storyline behind these teammates wrestling each other?
All right.
You need a moment?
I do need a moment because this is going to come as a shock. All right. I am a super nerd. I have a Let's Play channel where every day I play a match as Okada. It's ridiculous, I assure you, and no one watches, but I love it. But I love Okada a lot. Like even on like when I describe myself, I like, and huge fan of Okada. Like no matter what, I'm this, and the biggest Okada fanboy in the world. I don't care about this storyline. I do not. There's a mole there. It's stupid. It is beyond stupid. And not only that, I hate to pick on Jay White. I really do. I see him as a guy that has potential. And last Wrestle Kingdom, he went against Tanahashi. And I was like, wow, okay, this is a guy. I'm going to compare it to American football. This is a guy that has a lot of potential and made it to the Super Bowl. And people are, oh, is he going to be good? And at the Super Bowl, he threw 4 interceptions. It's like, hey, you made it to the big show. Congratulations. You're not with these guys, but you have a nice spot on the card. Good for you. Yeah, got it. White guy, leather jacket, Bullet Club, got it. We've never seen that before. Never in Japan. We have. So Jay White is basically, when you have a creative wrestler, that's the White version of the New Japan game, all right? You got creative wrestler Jay White. He's got potential, but he shit the bed against Tanahashi. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. You had your chance, kid. You got potential. Are you fucking for real? You're wrestling Okada? Are you for real? You're wrestling Okada? No. It's not a match. Well, I don't care about who the bull is. I don't like. It's Muhammad Ali in his prime going against Glass Joe with a broken leg. Like, what does it matter? And I don't want to pick on him. He is completely not a bad person. I don't want to be, I don't want to go all John Jones on him with hate. He's just not in this league. You're like, are you for real? You had a chance. It didn't work out. Come back later, kid. Oh, you're going against Okada. Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I have to, as a fan, talk myself into convincing myself that Okada really has a match.
Yeah. It is so weird. It's definitely a little weird. He doesn't really belong in that league, like you said. I mean, Okada's the guy who had the company on his back for years, and now here's Jay White.
Yeah, and I love it. Like, mentally, if Jay White wins and there's some heel turn and all that shenanigans, my reaction is going to be like, eh. And then if Okada wins, I'm like, well, of course. What do you think was going to happen? Like, and it's Wrestle Kingdom. I don't want those to be my two options. I don't want, and of course, I don't want those to be the options. I want to cry in front of the Tokyo Dome, or I want to have that greatest moment of my life. I don't want my Okada Wrestle Kingdom moment to be like, like I'm a little emotional. Okada doesn't have a match at Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, that's my prediction. He doesn't have a match.
Okada's just gonna hang out backstage and catering.
Yeah. It's I don't know. First the 6-man tag match. Now this.
So let me ask you then this: Do you think that Jay White is the Roman Reigns of New Japan?
No, I wouldn't be that mean. I wouldn't be that mean. I just think, because think about it. Okay, Finn Balor. Or Prince Devitt, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega. Who? Are you for real? Like, what? This is the leader of the Bullet Club?
So if you were booking this event, then where would you put Jay White? What would you have him do instead of wrestling Okada?
I would probably have Jay White in a tag team, or maybe, to be honest with you, he's a little below Juice Robinson, like as far as card stock goes and where it is. So that's where I'd put him. And I'm being a little mean just because I love Okada too much, but he should definitely be on the roster. Yeah, he should definitely be on the roster, okay?
Yeah.
He should just not be anywhere near Okada or this high on the card at Wrestle Kingdom. You know, and I know there's a lot of people that like Jay White. I am not one of those people.
Clearly, no, not so much.
I had the tickets before this match was announced, and I actually thought about selling them.
Wow, that's some intense Okada love right there.
It is. I wish he had a real match.
All right, let's move on before Dave's brain explodes from this. I'll just talk about Jay White. We're heading into the two main events now. We've got the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho defending his belt against Naito. This has been a great feud. Really exciting seeing Jericho in New Japan. But part of me, and I'm excited for the match, but part of me is also worried because I've seen how Jericho has wrestled in Japan. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And I feel like the build-up so far for this match in particular has been almost... I can't really put a word on it, because like Jericho's trying to bring this intensity, but Naito's just like, tranquilo, whatevs, bro. It's a real clash that makes me worry about the match. What's your take on this?
Chris Jericho can do no wrong in Japan. Like, a lot of internet sites are reporting that the Japanese fan base hates him. That is not the case at all.
No.
Chris Jericho can run for King of Japan. And he would just be like, hey, dude, I'm King Jericho, and now you all serve me. And Japan's like, all right, cool. He is beloved, and he's always been beloved his whole career. Naito is beloved. So it's two beloved guys hating each other, but Naito has to win. They're, for real. If I started a thing on my podcast, hashtag hug a loss. If Naito does not win this match, find your local loss fan and just give him a hug. Like, I'm giving hugs, everyone leaving. If Jericho wins, I'm like, come here, I understand. I'm a Team Chaos guy, but I understand. Come here. I think the match is going to be interesting. Yeah, Jericho's had some good matches and not so good matches, but Jericho is always full of surprises, like all the time, and it's Naito's time. So I'm very excited for this match, and I have a feeling that this will be the most exciting match ever, or the biggest letdown ever. I mean,
yeah,
I think
can
it's
see that,
one of those things. Yeah. So, but overall, I really enjoy it. But it's one of those things. I'm gonna hug a lot of people if Jericho wins. Like, and I love Jericho, but no, you can't do that to this fan base. You can't. Jericho, don't break that many hearts. Don't do it, Jericho. Don't do it.
I think Wrestle Kingdom 13 is definitely the night for Los Ingobernables. I think, in my opinion, they're taking home all the belts in any match that they're wrestling for belts for. I think they're taking them all home. I think they have to be set up as the next major faction in the company. New Japan needs it.
Yeah, definitely. And the merchandise is there. And I know I don't live in the States, and I don't know many Western fans besides online, but they seem to be very popular for Japanese pro wrestling fans, even outside of Japan.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because like in America, I see Bullet Club shirts all the time still. Like, I see everybody wearing Bullet Club no matter where I go, public, wrestling events, whatever. There's Bullet Club shirts out there. I don't see quite as many Los Ingobernables. I'm trying to think how often I've seen them. It's kind of like the opposite, I guess. Like in America, it's all about the Bullet Club. In Japan, it's all about Los Ingobernables.
Yeah, and I know for a while they were trying to do a balancing act with that and not doing it very well.
No. All right, now let's talk about main event time. Kenny Omega defending his belt against Tanahashi, the ace. This will be, Dave Meltzer's star meter will explode, and it'll cover us all in glittery stars for sure. This is going to be excellent match, but the outcome doesn't even matter at this point because what's potentially happening.
All right, the outcome doesn't matter. In ring, performance-wise, this is going to be a masterpiece.
Yes, absolutely. No
storylines, internet news, not so much. When he beat Ibushi for the G1, I was just like, really? The Golden Lovers battling on this big of a stage would have been, you know what I mean? But Tanahashi is getting it. I have a love-hate relationship with Tanahashi. I love Tanahashi with all my heart until he steps in that ring with Okada. Like that. So I wish And I hate that because I'm not one of those guys that pick on the internet. I am pro internet beyond belief, but I just wish they didn't ruin Wrestle Kingdom. The internet went too far when it's news.
Some things are
Why?
sacred.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom was like, that's the line. You can ruin everything. You can tell me all about, well, except Endgame. Don't tell me about Endgame. But you can tell me about Creed 2 because I live in Japan and it doesn't come out for another 6 months.
So do you think Kota Ibushi is going to play any part in this match? Do you think he's going to maybe be a corner man for Omega this time instead of the Young Bucks?
Yeah, I think he'll be in the corner. I think that's about it. I don't think he'll play that big of a role. I think he'll be there for support. But here's the one thing that's good about New Japan is they're really good at storytelling. They're really good at camera work. I just remember there's moments where if you describe it to a fan that didn't see it, they're like, so what? There's a huge moment where Kenny Omega just steps up on the apron, makes eye contact, and steps down. But the storytelling and the way they shot it is done so well that it can. So there might be a moment like that, but I don't think if you're a WWE fan, I hate to pick on WWE fans, but when you're the Monopoly, everyone's going to compare it to it, it's not going to be like 876 run-ins. At least I don't see it that way. He'll be a part of the story, but he won't be a part of the match, if that makes sense. But, 100 stars. But storyline-wise, I think it's kind of meh. But I think Tanahashi has to win. But with that said, can I just tell you, the wisest man I've ever met, and I never get his name, it was this drunk Japanese guy, and he was really drunk, leaning against you, breathing heavy on you drunk. And he's like, I know what they can do at Wrestle Kingdom to save this. And I'm like, I'm intrigued. Tell me, drunk wise man. He goes, Tanahashi, his career is winding down. He's always been the good guy. Bullet Club needs a real leader. I'm like, I know. Have you seen Jay White? He's like, Bullet Club betrays Kenny Omega, and Tanahashi joins Bullet Club. And I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Could someone get this drunk guy on the creative team right now? Let me tell you, I wish I didn't meet this wonderful drunk man, because now anything else will be a letdown storyline-wise.
Yeah, that's a great prediction. I mean, I'm trying to think the same thing, too. Like, what does Tanahashi do if and when he wins the belt? Because he's already done so much in the company as well. So turning heel seems to make the most sense. Will they take that risk, though? Will they turn Tanahashi heel?
I just hope that drunk Japanese man is right. I wish I got his name, because I've literally told this story 800 times. I'm like, this drunk guy, it might be a Fight Club thing. He really didn't exist. But the point is, there was a drunk guy, he came with the greatest idea ever. And now that I've heard the greatest idea ever, it's going to be hard to top it. It's going to be hard to top that drunk guy's prediction. So I think Tanahashi walks away with the title. But a lot of times at Wrestle Kingdoms, the champs do keep the title. There's a record of champs always winning at Wrestle Kingdom. And there's also a kind of a newer tradition. Well, obviously it goes hand in hand. If the champ wins a lot, that means the G1 winner loses a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this time it snapped, but with streaks going and the way if booking continues, maybe Omega does win and he loses it sometime in January.
That'd be interesting too. Yeah, that might really kind of throw the internet for a loop. I would appreciate seeing that. Just confusing the heck out of everybody. That'd be a pretty nice swerve for New Japan to pull.
Yeah. So, and not that, but even though he was off making a documentary, I think he would deserve a big win on the big stage, Omega. So there you go. So overall, I'm excited, but I love you, Internet, with all my heart. You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. My girlfriend's sleeping in the other room. Shh, don't tell her. But you're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, Internet. But with that said, please let's not attack Wrestle Kingdom next year with all your news.
Well, let's hope New Japan can keep their guys around. That's kind of the big key here. So, all right, last thing before we head out here. Pick of the night. What's going to be the match of the night? What will be the best thing that we're all going to talk about the next day?
Well, Tanahashi joins Bullet Club. That's that. But we can't give the drunk saint everything. I think Ibushi Ospreay is what everyone's talking about. I think without a doubt. So that's it. And also a lot of rumblings here with fans here is that They used to do this often, and they still do it often, but they haven't done it at Wrestle Kingdom, where a guy wins and the next challenger comes out and points to him, because that's a very common thing in Japan. You win the title, and another guy comes out and says, "Now it's you and me." I think if Tanahashi does win and doesn't join Bullet Club, Naito doing that would be a nice ending.
Yeah, well, I would definitely enjoy seeing that. I mean, if Tanahashi won't turn heel, Naito challenging him would definitely be a great thing to see. Man, that's got me more interested in New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom right now, honestly. The perspective future is way better than this event, but it's still going to be a great event without a doubt.
Well, and I also worry about Tanahashi's booking, because if he wins, no one challenges him, and he's the good guy, and he keeps being Captain America, he'll become New Japan's John Cena that can wrestle. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Great for wrestling, bad for storylines.
Yeah. So, all right, well, that's our look at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 13, the big dome show happening on January 4th. And all you people out there can check it out on the Fight TV app. And it'll also be kind of sort of shown semi-live, but not really on Access TV. So lots of different ways to watch it, and hopefully you guys check it out. Dave, go ahead and plug the website, plug the podcast, plug all the things.
Operation Freak Show is a book I have on Amazon.com. It's about vigilantes who put on luchador masks and go around killing pedophiles. You know, a Christmas story for all ages.
Which I feel like we need our own episode about. Just talk about that one sometime.
And I have CocoSports.net. CocoSports.net is your home for combat sports, and it's a bunch of old men going, "We should update this site and make it really good. Let's do that next week." You can come by next week and see if we do. We have Koco Sports, the channel where we mostly talk about pro wrestling and some UFC, but I don't know. We've been falling out of love with UFC. And also, I have a Let's Play channel. No one watches it, but it's by far the funnest thing I do. And that's on Koco Plays. So thank you for letting me be on your show, and hopefully we can do this more often, because we've been talking about doing stuff like this for years.
Yeah, it's about damn time.
Yeah. So thanks, brother. And,
I blame John Jones for this.
Yeah, John Jones.
We'll save that for another episode.
At least Jay White's not John Jones. We'll end it on that.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Tune in soon. We got all sorts of other stuff coming up in the new year. 2019 going to be a big year for New Japan, for, who knows, WWE and pro wrestling in general. It should be an interesting year coming up. So we'll see you guys then. Till then, I'm Matthew from Nerd News Today. That's Dave from Koco Sports, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.